Welcome to Local Omaha. I'm Ken Bartholomew.
I'm Kelsey Weedle.
Each week, sometimes every other week, depends on the schedule, but we like to bring awareness to local area business, the entrepreneurs behind them, as well as local area activities, events, and nonprofits.
Yeah, all things community.
Yeah, all things community. You did introduce yourself, right?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. So with that, Kelsey, will you introduce our guest for the day?
Yeah, I'm so excited. So today we have Kelli Workman. So Kelli, tell us all about what you do, what your role is, and a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I just came on as an assistant publisher with Macaroni Kid, and me and the main publisher, Dustin Sparks, are coming together to bring local families and kids all things event, activities, information, just anything that's out in the Omaha area that they can get out and do, and partnering with all local businesses in the Omaha area to bring more awareness to keep things local. Wanting to be like the one-stop shop for kid and family activities.
Oh, that's so great.
Well, no, I was just going to say that's real cool. Kelsey and I, over the weeks, we've talked about, Kelsey has twins.
I have a letter.
I do too.
Oh, do you really?
Mine are not as little. Mine are 16 and 6 foot tall, but
Oh, well, I feel like mine will be there soon. Mine are 10.
yeah.
10 and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're always doing that. He sent me one of the links that you did that was like summer fun activities to do
Yeah.
locally with kids. And I was like, this is perfect for our show. Exactly what we want to promote is
Yes.
all of these things, local people doing local things, promoting other local businesses.
Absolutely.
And I feel like there's so many moms with kids, especially like younger than ours, they're like, I'm going to go crazy over the summer. What can I do? Where can we go? What's available?
Yep.
So it's great to have like a central place for that. Is that what you guys do?
Yes. So there has not been a publisher. Macaroni Kid is nationwide, but we have not had an Omaha publisher in quite a few years. So I didn't even know it existed. So me and Dustin have been working together to try to get it back up and running. And so I'm really, really excited for some things that we're working on and some things to bring to Omaha and just being able to partner with other local businesses and obviously bring awareness to maybe places that people just don't know about.
How cool, yeah.
And so that's really on my heart, is just to be able to, like you said, fill that gap. I have high schoolers, but then I also have an almost 3-year-old. So I have both sides of the spectrum, and I want to be able to, teens don't always know what's available, and maybe being able to find some things for that middle school, high school ages that keep them out of trouble and keep them active, and just being able to branch some of those things together.
I feel like that's such a great idea that you encompass such a wide variety of ages because, once you feel like you get one age group down, then they've grown into the next age group. So you're looking for the next step.
Yep.
So
When did you kick this off then? How long?
So Macaroni Kid has been around for, don't quote me on how many years, quite a few years. We're just going to leave it at that. But Omaha, Dustin just took over. So Dustin Sparks owns Kid Strong. Yeah. Kid Strong's 120th and L, and they do, my son has taken classes there for a year and a half. And so that's how we've partnered together. And it's an amazing organization, but he wanted to do more. And so he ended up getting introduced to Macaroni Kid. And then it just kind of happened that we just figured out how to work together, and he wants to do some parts of it and then I'll do other parts. And I obviously have a toddler, so I'm out and about all the time meeting moms in the community. I feel like this is my creativity, my knowledge of just events in the Omaha area and wanting to keep things local. It's been on my heart for a long time. I've been in a lot of entrepreneurial type groups and local Omaha groups, and there's quite a few groups. That's how I found you guys, was through one of those groups. And so just being able to tie all that together, and when somebody's looking for XYZ, you'd be like, oh, well, you could check this place out, or you could check this place out, and it's keeping everything in Omaha.
I love that. That's fantastic.
Yeah. So let me ask you, so are you from Omaha?
I am.
Okay.
I am, yep.
Born and raised.
Yep. Don't know anything else.
3 kids, couple of 16-years.
Yep.
Thought you'd have a 3-year-old. That's nice.
Yep. I know they're great big brothers. They're kind of like they're kind of like uncles, but yeah.
That's awesome. That's the best part.
Yeah. And their little brother adores them. I have all boys, so.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
How fun. Well,
Very fun.
what are some of your favorite things to do locally with that you can do with a 3-year-old or with a 16-year-old or with both of them together that they enjoy?
Yeah, so outdoor concerts has always been something fun for us to go out and do, whether it was when my older boys were little. We absolutely love the zoo. We've always done the zoo. And then my little guy has adapted to that new indoor play park, Kip.
Right.
Yeah.
And so
that's a big hit.
it's like, and he feels like he owns the place and he runs in and just, and they know us by name. That's probably not great to say, but they do know us by name. So,
That's awesome.
but those kinds of things, we've been to like a toddler dance party at Trucks and Taps. We do kids drum classes once a week. We've met lots of mom friends that we just splash parks or going to like pools or just any of those kind of things. And we absolutely love our libraries. The library
fantastic.
events are amazing. And so just being able to, it's a free avenue to get your kid out of the house and get the wiggles out.
And that's another place that has something for every age, I feel like, too. They've got teen groups, they've got Lego groups. We did Read to a Dog this week. That was super fun.
Absolutely.
Would
we gonna-
read to a dog?
We did Read to a Dog.
Yep.
So we have 2 dogs, so you would think they would just read to our dogs at home, but we had a book like 2 weeks out because it's such a popular library event.
So you take the dog to the library?
You take your kids to the library and they read to a certified therapy dog.
Oh.
Or a,
So
a
it's
different assistant dog.
to help the kids
Sure.
get over the fear of speaking out
Yeah.
the words,
Build
because
their
sometimes they get,
confidence.
if they're talking in class or they're reading out loud to their parents, they get nervous, and so
Okay.
talking to a dog, the dog can't judge you.
And they have these, it's super relaxing. Yeah, and it's great. It's also a great way to learn with your child because, my kids are old enough where they'll sit there and they'll read a chapter book by themselves, but you don't know how they're pronouncing words in their head. And to hear them pronounce things out loud, and then you can be there to offer guidance for them
That's
to ask
cool.
questions. It's fantastic for everybody. We
Kelsey and I stopped at the library last week to use one of the meeting rooms in Millard.
Oh yeah.
And we got there I think it opened at 9 and we got there about 10 till, and there was like cars everywhere. I could not believe.
Because a lot of their kids things start at 10.
Yeah.
Right.
They
But I
have
could,
story time, dance time. Yeah.
I couldn't believe the number
Yeah.
of people.
And they have a little area in the back too that has activities. So even if you go during not one of those actual classes, you could just go play.
Right.
And that's a fantastic thing for, I think a lot of people, Macaroni Kid might be that great central hub for things like that because I feel like unless you're actively going to that library or
just don't know.
you might just not know. That was the thing is you don't, especially if you're new to the area, you just don't know where to look. Like, have you guys been to the new Sophia's Playground?
No, but it's on our list. I
You're
think
gonna
we're
love
gonna
it
try to
so
go.
much.
I think we're gonna go Friday.
Oh, you're gonna
with
love
another
it.
mom friend, and that's the mom that's watching my son right now. And so I think we're gonna take the kids there Friday.
Oh,
so
you guys will absolutely love it. Lords
Yeah.
and Gardens is another place that does a fantastic group. Oh, that's
So what's
cool.
what's the place that you talked about?
So, at Lawrence and Gardens,
No, before that.
so Sophia's Playground
Right.
is
It's-
a new installment at Lawrence, and yeah.
Oh,
it's like a
got it.
huge, from what I've seen in pictures, like a
Okay.
huge play area, and it's got all
It's
sorts of
so
things, and it's
cool.
kind of like a children's museum, but outside, like
Okay.
Yeah, and it's
kind of
very
like, and it's
interactive.
like climbing and all the things.
And it's
So,
great for a lot of different ages. There was definitely a lot of toddlers there. There's a little free library and a sit and read, little calmer area for some kids.
that's
There's
cool.
a garden. You're encouraged. There's areas where you're encouraged to touch the different plants, smell the different plants, things like that. And Lawrence's always been a great place for my kids, one of their favorite places. And now it's just such, I think it'll be a great opportunity for people.
And somebody was telling me the other day that they used to have a play area, but it was like all the way in the back.
So
I
far, you'd
didn't
have to
even
walk
know
like
that.
you'd have to walk like a mile, and a lot of moms with kids and with strollers, you've got one in the stroller, your toddler's not going to walk back up that hill. So I think it was a great choice on
Yeah.
there. But then again, you need a place like Macaroni Kid, the central location. So I
And
love
that's
what
our
you guys
hope.
are
That's on my
doing.
heart, is to be the one-stop shop to get all your information. We're not going to charge for anybody to post their events. If you have an event going on and it's in the Omaha area, we want to post it and we want to
So
share
is that
about it.
via website, Facebook,
We have both.
both?
Yep. Yeah, a website. If you go to Macaroni Kid, and there's only 3 in Nebraska: Lincoln, Scottsbluff, I believe, and then now it's considered West Omaha is what
Okay.
they call it, but it's Omaha, the Omaha area.
I noticed that. Yeah, don't get discouraged by
Yeah.
the name that it's West Omaha because it says
Yeah,
stuff all
and we
over,
have
yeah.
inquired about expanding, because technically it's just Omaha, so expanding, north, south, and just kind of
Yeah.
growing that, because we want to be able to cover other businesses as well. So
Oh,
that's
fantastic.
the hope in the future.
So
So
cool.
yeah.
So if you have other, like this past week, one of the things, if you watch our podcast, you'll realize or see that, Kelsey and I have spent time out in the Waterloo area.
Yeah.
And so this past weekend at the library there, they did a color fun run. So if they have something like that, then that's something that they would go and post, or what is that?
It's anything outside of outside of our Omaha area.
Okay.
We just have to decide on what it is, and
Okay.
a lot of times, since there's not a publisher in that area, it would be fine.
Okay.
But it's kind of like a case by case basis
Okay, I was
on
just
like, because there is a Lincoln, so like depending on how far out and stuff, like we would just want to make sure that it's
Yeah,
we're
sure.
not stepping on anybody else's
right.
toes or
That makes
anything. But yeah, so just the Omaha area for now. But like I said, we're hoping to expand that and be able to grow that eventually,
Right.
hopefully in the nearer future. That's the hope. So
Right.
Oh,
But yeah.
fantastic. How cool.
yeah.
What is one of your favorite things you've learned about Omaha since you started working with Macaroni Kid?
So just being able to like obviously like learning things about the lawns and gardens and learning there are so many more local mom and dad family owned businesses than I ever would have thought. And I learned so much about your guys's Ellsworth Crossing when you guys
Sure.
did that
Yeah.
episode. Like that was amazing. And I'm like, I told my sister, I'm like, I don't know if I can eat the food in my fridge right now.
Well,
You know, we all learned like so much about
Right.
different things. Like I had heard of them, but I didn't know anything until I watched that. So,
Oh, that's so
just
great to hear.
some of those types of things, and I've been sharing your guys' podcast and getting it out, and
Oh, nice.
so hopefully, like this is a good little partnership because I feel like you guys do
Absolutely.
very similar, but in a different way.
Yeah,
And
that's
so-
exactly why we started this. Is we wanted to highlight I feel like there's so many nooks and crannies in Omaha that are filled
Absolutely.
with these amazing people and these amazing businesses. And like, I didn't know I had kids, and I would have loved to know about Macaroni Kid beforehand, and I just didn't know about it until
Yeah.
now. So
Well, it
I think it's a
wasn't.
great resource.
Omaha didn't have a local publisher, so because it's nationwide, there's always going to be things published. But if they don't have a local publisher, they're posting online events or
Yeah.
recipes or things to do at home or just like broad. Check out your local library. Those like broad things. Whereas I want it to be specific. I did an article about all the Omaha public libraries. They just launched their summer reading program on June 1st. So I just did an article. So it has all the addresses, all the breakdown of all the libraries. So people can find the one closest to them, what they get, how they sign up, and all of those things because it's I feel like sometimes overwhelming to
it is, and
go
you don't have a
and
central place.
figure out where to go. And you can go to Facebook, but only so many events are on there. And so hopefully just getting the word out. And if you have a local business and you have a local event and you want to share it, like I've talked to the Regency Learning Express, like I've talked to the gal there and just being able to get their events because they offer free events usually 2 to 3 times a week at their
Yeah.
Learning Express store. So, and it's always really cool. They have a dad one coming up, and I don't quote me on the date. I want to say it's coming up this Friday maybe, but just like fun things like for the mom when they did like handprint on the aprons and like the kids
Yeah.
got to put the little handprints on, and so just stuff like that because I mean how special and fun is something to get out with your toddler or your teen or your 10-year-old or whatever, just to be able to get out and find things for them to do that maybe don't cost money, but also featuring ones that maybe they can, maybe there is some things that they can, pay to go do. So,
Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
how
just
cool. I
being able
noticed
to-
a lot of variety on there, so that's fantastic.
One of the things that I never thought about that I kind of, how we all educate ourselves now in like 15-second snippets or memes or whatever like that.
I need a TikTok to tell me all about it.
Well, no, but one of the things, and then when you were talking about reading, the dog reading thing, is I didn't realize that, I don't remember what it was Facebook or whatever it was, but it was a little snippet about the fact that there was this teacher talking about how some of the third graders were struggling reading because they were always read to. So that was kind of interesting. I never really thought about it because maybe just as we were raised or I was raised or whatever like that, it was just part of, you get read to, you read and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
But I guess maybe it, we swung over to a little bit more of like, it was a little bit more of a duty or something like that, read a book or something like
Well,
that.
we're taught when kids are learning those words, the younger you start reading to them, the better their vocabulary. And the more you get them. And my almost 3-year-old will grab the book at my turn, and he doesn't know words yet. But
Right.
He'll read it. basically just looking at the pictures and talking about the animals or the sounds or whatever colors
Right.
and shapes and stuff. But his vocabulary has gotten a lot bigger just by giving him that independence, even though he
Sure.
doesn't really get the words yet. So I think that there's like that we shouldn't stop reading to them, but we also need to make sure we're letting them take
Right.
control as well.
And there's a fine medium, but that's what's so great about these public programs is there's all these things that you don't think about. Like you might not have thought about that because it was different than how you were raised. There's a lot of things I would have never thought about. Oh, reading to the dog. That's a great way to do that. And I know the Humane Society has done stuff like that in the previous year. I would have never thought about having my kids read to our dog at home on my own. So it's great to find these things. So, you know, even if you can't make it on that date, you're like, oh, I'll keep an eye out for next time, for the next
Right.
event we can do.
Exactly.
Or, oh, here they have also an activity listed that we can do at home. Because, you know, I've got a sick toddler and we need to make slime or something.
Right. Well, and another thing too is like, so my son doesn't go to daycare, and I have a great village that helps watch him if and when I need him to be watched or, you know, go somewhere to play or whatever. And he spends a lot of time at my grandparents or my mom's, at his grandma's. And so like, it's just nice to have that, but not everybody has that. So being able to have events that are during the week when moms need to get out of the house with their kids, but then also for working parents that want to do things on the evenings or the weekends, being able to give them options too, because that's not always, you know, there's all these things during the week. If people are working,
Yeah.
they can't get to them.
We can't
And
all
so,
make 10 a.m. story time.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So being able to have, you know, that evening story time or that evening event at whatever park or something like
Yeah.
that. So, yeah.
Oh, that's
it's
fantastic.
kind of an
And then it just eliminates, I mean, we feature sometimes local events and different upcoming things in the community here. And even when we're intentionally looking, we'll both be scrolling on Eventbrite, Facebook, looking for these because we want to support local. And even if you have the time to intentionally look, it's still difficult to find things that work for you or for your schedule or for your family.
Right.
So I love that Macaroni Kid is a space where you can go
Yeah.
and find that too.
And what is really nice too is our event page, you can actually enter your own event. So like if you know of a business that has an event coming up or somebody who listens to this and you know you want to add your event, you can go on, click on the add event, and then it will get emailed to us, and then we just make sure that it fits in the
Approve it, right.
parameters.
Yeah.
Like
I was gonna
make sure it's worded right and there
Sure.
isn't, you know, anything major going on or
Right.
you know it's not 2024, you know, like, you know, they dated the wrong, you know, whatever. So we'll fix it and make sure it's good and then we'll approve it. And that's happened a couple of times this last week where people have submitted events. So it's super exciting because obviously it takes things off my plate to put on. But then also, you know, if I don't know about it, rather than them reaching out to me to add something, they just can do it. The business can do it themselves.
Oh, fantastic.
So, which is very, very, very helpful.
That's
Right,
great.
really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What, okay, so with your aim, with your direction of where you'd like to be, where would you say you're at on that journey, like on a percentage basis? Are you getting close? Is it just so big that it's
We're just
scratching the
like
surface?
with how babies we've dipped our ball of our toe in. And
All
so
right.
we are making progress and that foot's getting in there, but we have a long ways to go.
Okay.
And I am so excited for the growth. I am working on putting together, I haven't decided exactly how I'm going to do it. So if you guys want to brainstorm or have any ideas, I'm open to all of them.
Okay.
But either mom, dad, or parent of the month. So like a local business, people can nominate that parent or that business, and being able to highlight and feature a local business every month where they might get some free publicity, some free advertising, and like part of our like either an article or part of our newsletter or something so that they can be featured. Like I said, it's in the brainstorming stages, but I'm really excited to put that together where people can nominate, you know, you guys can nominate businesses that you have on here or businesses you've done on your podcast before. Maybe you had a really good experience with someone and you can nominate that business and then we can feature them depending on those nominations that come in. So I just think it's just an awesome way to just get the word out and see what else we can do in the Omaha area. So that's something that's exciting to work on.
Is there anything that you can think of specifically right now that's coming up within the next 2, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, something like that, that's kind of an exciting thing that parents may want to look into or just put you on the
right,
spot?
I mean, I know, right? Right now, the biggest things that I have been focusing on is those like day-to-day, like smaller events just to get the word out to like those smaller organizations. I feel like the bigger events get more feedback. And so I have been more focused on like those smaller ones. There's a lot of opportunity in like just like when like little plazas do like open houses or a business is celebrating an anniversary or stuff like that. So
Right.
nothing is I mean I just did all of the farmers markets. I just put all the farmers
Okay.
markets
Oh,
in the calendar.
fantastic.
And so every, Saturday downtown or every Sunday in Exarban. I do know that there are a couple others outside of Omaha, but I haven't quite figured out what to put on there and like how far out to go yet. So those are the two we've featured so far. And then like just there's like night markets and just different things that all local businesses come together and all of them are featured in that one area. So that's kind of what my focus has been, just trying to get the word out. And then, like the new things like the Sophia's Garden and KIP that just opened up and like summer camps is huge right now too,
I was
with
gonna
getting
say,
kids out of the
that's
house with summer
overwhelming.
camps.
Yeah.
So it's kind of been my focus on those types of events, if that makes sense.
I feel like, and I don't know if maybe it's just because I'm around you, but you're like, where is
You
going?
losing your mind?
No, I'm just sitting here thinking. I feel like I mean, is there a renewed? I feel like there's a renewed interest or just more energy behind parents actually looking for events like this, or to do less screen time, less that type of thing. Actually, outdoor activities.
Yeah.
Event. I mean, is that fair to say, or is it? What do you think?
I think that it's a lot more focused on community right now.
Right.
Local community and just keeping things here. And people maybe not have the money to go out of town and like go do things other places. So they're looking for more local.
Okay, that makes sense.
I don't know that for any
Sure.
factual
Right.
information, but in my experience, like just being able to let my son experience things outside of our normal. Like we decided to do the patron pass this year for the zoo, and so we get free rides, and they did like a patron thing this Sunday, and so like something new for him, like to try face painting, even though he did it on his hand, or stuff for the first time that he's never done before. So just being able to do those things and not have to tell him no, like we're not going to ride the carousel for the third time in a row.
Well, that's the other great thing is a lot of people don't know, like you highlight all of these things. Everybody goes to the zoo, but not everybody knows that they have day camps. They have 2-day camps. They
Absolutely.
have 2-hour camps. That was
They
fantastic.
have a preschool program. They have a
Yeah.
kindergarten
They have
program.
kindergarten,
They even
yeah.
have a high school program. And it's if you don't know to look for it, you don't know.
Yeah, I feel like it was, as someone who goes to the zoo and has kids and we do all of that stuff, you have to really know where to look to find these
So I
specific
will
classes.
tell you something fun that is coming up.
There
So
we go.
you guys have heard,
Yay.
I just remembered, so you guys have heard of late night at the zoo.
Right.
So it's 21 and up. Obviously that would not be a kid
Right.
family related thing, but they're having a family edition
Oh,
late night at the zoo on the 20th. So not this coming up Friday, but the next. And so that's super exciting because
that's great.
I'm a single mom, so I don't get to I don't get a sitter very often unless I'm working. And
Right.
so for me to get a sitter on a Thursday night to go to the zoo where I can go all the time with my son and to drink that I don't necessarily need to have drinks at the zoo. And so
Sure.
to be able to go to like, it's just fun to go at night.
and it's
how
so different.
fun-
The kids love
yeah,
it.
like how fun will that be? And they're going to do like, if you do have a patron pass, they are going to do like a patron social where like you can go and like hang out. I'm not exactly sure what it all entails because this is our first time, but I don't think they've ever done a family late night at the zoo except for like the zoo Lightful
Halloween,
and the
yeah.
Halloween ones.
Well, I
Those
think
they
just
have
did
done.
something-
But
Jason Porto that's going to be on next week. I think he just did a sleepover at the zoo with his
Yep,
dog.
we've done
Yeah.
that a couple
Okay.
times. See, that's the thing. Like, even if you go
That's
to the
pretty
zoo
cool.
and we all think we know the zoo, but
you
there's
can
just
even
so
do
many
yoga
different
at the zoo right
yes,
now.
you can do yoga at the zoo. They have
Yeah.
like pancakes with penguins, and like my kids did a 2-hour class. So it was fantastic. I got like a 5-mile walking around the zoo while they were doing this awesome bug class or whatever it was. But you just have to know
Yeah.
where to look for that. And I feel like, especially you were saying this renewed interest. And I think it is because we've been so involved in the community the last few
Right.
years. But I also think that during COVID, we all went a little nuts.
Yeah.
If you had kids at home during COVID, we're like, what can I do? Like my husband got really into sourdough baking. It was so good.
So did my cousin, yo.
I love that. I gained so much weight. But like we did puzzles, we did everything. And then it was like, okay, the second we can start doing like, what can we start to branch out, dip our toes in now being a part of these library programs? And what else can we do that keeps us close and keeps us safe because we're all going crazy. And then I feel like a lot of other things, I don't know if you've noticed this, have you seen that? I feel like a lot of businesses are becoming more kid friendly, and that like these play parks that are also a coffee shop, or the Sophia's playground, where they have a lot of adults members, but they also have a little side area that kids can enjoy as well, so that we can all do the things we love with our kids and share them with our kids.
I do think that it is harder for like houses, like a lot of stay-at-home moms, because it's cheaper for them to not work and stay home with their kids and put them in daycare. And so I think that that's a whole nother like chapter in this whole, like, if I work, my check goes to pay for daycare or a huge chunk of it.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that that's a little bit of our culture too, of just like how like families decide like what's best for them. And if you are home with them, you are looking for some sanity because
a lot of winter days, or like days like today, if it's 98 degrees outside for multiple days in a row, you're like, I gotta get out of here.
I have a feeling that if I'd have been home with my kids all the time, they'd been reading. They would have been reading to the dog like about 10 hours.
Literally,
we'd have the smartest dog in the neighborhood.
And that's great too, because you don't always have time to like, okay, book next Tuesday. We're gonna do this. I need to go online and find a place like Macaroni Kid where I'm like, okay, I'm going crazy today. So what can we do to get out of the house?
Well, we have a newsletter that goes out once a week. Right now, it goes out on Thursdays. We haven't decided if we're gonna keep that because that's just what Macaroni Kid does. Like when it's like before we came on as publishers, it's auto published on Thursdays, but it says the next 2 weeks of events. And you can click on it and actually go to our events calendar if you're looking for a certain day, but it'll highlight certain things, and so that'll be super fun. And once we take over that newsletter, hopefully within the next week or two, we'll be able to feature businesses or like different events in our newsletter, which will be really nice.
So you said goes out via social media?
Yep, so you can go to our website, and at the bottom you can join our newsletter. It goes out once a week.
Oh, fantastic.
Yep.
So we're going to run out of time. We always do, because we always have so many questions.
We always talk about it. People are like, and we're like, before you know it, time's going to be
You don't have to worry about filling the time. So tell us a little bit, again, your name, about Macaroni Kid, what the website is, and how you can get involved.
Okay, so I'm Kelli Workman. It's macaronikid.com. We are West Omaha. So you can click on Nebraska, find West Omaha. It'll link you to us. You go to the bottom, you can join our newsletter. There's an article link, so you can look at the most recent articles. And then there's an events link, so it has our calendar. And then you'll click on what day you're looking for, so it'll open up to the day you're on. And then you can go to whatever day you're looking for an event, depending on what day of the week it is. And then we will be able to feature other businesses in other ways throughout. Our goal is to do some guides where you can click on like a parks guide, and it'll show all the parks in the area.
That's awesome.
And, different things. There's a lot of things on my wish list. So if you guys are looking for something, like, we're open to all of the things. Yes. Yep.
We usually end each program with, we'll have you back. Because there's always something.
So much
well, hopefully by then I'll have so many more things to share and have some more programs in place.
We can't wait to see Macaroni Kid. I'm sorry. Grow and develop. I knew I was going to make this.
No, you're good.
Hungry.
Yeah, it's okay. Is Macaroni Grill is it still around?
I think so.
Okay.
Is it?
I was like, I don't even know.
Macaroni Kid it is.
Local,
Macaroni
so
Kid, yes.
All right.
Awesome.
Thanks,
Macaroni
Kelli.
Kid. Thanks so much, Kelly. Yeah, we love having you on.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.